server. You can open the new one 2017 SSDT also. Okay, first thing I want to talk about is slowly changing dimension. There is a notion, conception, which is called slowly changing dimension. They may call them by their shortened version, like SCD, so slowly changing dimension. Don't be confused if they ask you what's SCD type 1, type 0, type 2, type other type. So that SCD stands for slowly changing dimension. What does it mean? We're gonna create one table. You can call it customer table, or we can call it employee. Let's call it employee. We're gonna have ID, name, date of birth. Well, no, you can make analysis. Done database engine. No, again. You see? Okay, let me tell one funny thing. Some guys, I mean, after the placement, first day, they came there, they said, this is the like server name. You can start exploring the database from the server. They gave them the server name, and they were not able to connect to that database. So please don't do it like this. When you database engine, it's where your regular OLAP database is located. So when you connect, go to first one is gonna be database engine. Or when it opens, it's by default, that's the selected one. That's why now you got confused. Usually we connect right from the middle whenever we open it. Here you got to choose database engine, unless you wanna go on purpose to other services like analysis service or integration or report. But most of the time, the data is located not except the OLAP environment. Data is located in OLATP database, and it's always in database engine. So don't try to connect analysis services or integration service if they give you the database and the server name. You can call it as changing name SCD or give the whole name. Okay, now we're gonna create employee table ID, employee ID. Let's put MID integer, comma, and then we're gonna have employee name, first name, and first name, and then we're gonna have last name, and then we're gonna have date of hire date. Yeah. And insert just one control information. Monitor. We just started. And there was a really important announcement. I will tell you later. Can you put girl's name there and something?
Girl's
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Just insert and select start from there. Okay, we'll also talk about slot detecting dimension when we learn the data warehouse. Right now, let's just assume it, the dimension as one column here. Let's assume the dimension is the synonym of the dimension is one column out of this table. Okay, for example, employee last name is an employee table's dimension, for example. Let's assume that. Slowly changing dimension means the rules how to handle if some kind of columns belonging to one instance of employee, that means to one employee, is gonna change over the time. For example, if the ladies get married, you have Alison Smith as a worker, your secretary. She does a lot of paperwork for you, and she gets married. She used to be called Alison Smith. Now she's Alison, whatever the husband's last name, Arab John, for example. So in that case, there are three in general, by default, three rules to handle it. Business rules, you can say rules, you can call it how. First one says type 0, slowly changing type, dimension type 0. That means there should not be any change. What does it mean? It means there are columns, dimensions in a space table. In this case, for example, employee table, which doesn't change over the time. Which one is that? Hire date, yes? Does it change? They get hired one time only, that's it. Even if they fire, they will be rehired, not fired. Okay, that's type 0. So that means if there is any change, you got to send an error to yourself. You got to fail the package and notify yourself through mail, send mail task in SSIS process. I will teach later what does it mean. You will have no understanding of that. Right now, okay, our date of birth, does it change? That's also type 0. Okay, there are three types by default, but some people may add 4 types. Some people add 5, 6 types, 7 types. But by default, that's what your answer should be. They ask a lot about slowly changing dimension, guys. There are three types, type 0, type 1, type 2. Type 0 means first type. Second type is type 1. Third type, so don't be confused, like it starts from 0. 0 means no change. Date of birth, hire date, most of the time, continent names, for example, or some feast like scientific names, stuff like that. They don't change over the time. This type 1 means there is gonna be the change is allowed. For example, in our case, is employee last name, but you need to overwrite the whatever is there. We don't worry about the historical value. So we forget about Smith. If she is married to somebody, if she gets somebody else last name, so we don't care about Smith anymore. We care only about her current last name. So now if you update that, just update the table, update. This is how it looks like in the real life. Type 0, you don't do update. You don't do anything. You just do insert. If the new employee is gonna be hired, they're gonna be inserted. And you don't change. Set employee last name equal to what I means. Okay, well, there's just one, so we don't have to specify workload. Execute it. Now select star from that. So now it's Makbul. We don't care about your previous last name. The current one is the most important, and that's why we keep it. We keep a track of the current one. That means type 1. Type 2 means what? Type 2 means there is gonna be changes a lot, but we need to keep the both historical and the current values. So now, how we gonna handle it? There are two ways to handle type 2. First one is we gonna add another column, but another row. Every time new value comes in, we're gonna add new row, but we will add one more column there as effective date or expiry date. You got it? So we alter table add no column, just no. The name is gonna be expiry date, and it's gonna be date time. Execute that. Now select start from the employee. So here, if it's null, that means it's the current one. For example, she divorced and goes back to her. She didn't like the mukbang because he's not reliable. Just kidding. Okay, goes back to her original last name. Update it. No. If you update, it will be type 1. If it's type 2, then we need to insert there. So we're gonna insert. First, you need to expire this one. How you gonna expire it? Just timestamp whenever it changes. Get date with get date. So say update employee set expiry date equals to get date. Got it? Expiry date, we got to write it. I will show it later. Execute that. Yes. Now we need to insert. Go to that Smith one. Comma null. The last one should be, or we need to specify the column name. So the easiest one is just put there null. Otherwise, we need to type all the column names. Select start from the. You see, this is how it needs to be handled if it's type 2. Did everybody get it? It doesn't necessarily mean it should be all about employee. It's all about all kinds of dimension table. It can be customer, it can be location, it can be product's name, product version, name, change all the time. So you need to get the requirements first, ask them what changed, what is not allowed to change before you design your ETL package. We will learn how to load them, how to update them, how to maintain all these types of the slowly changing dimension when we learn what's called the incremental load. So that's very important topic. We will do a separate class for that, maybe 2 class for that. So, but they may see that there's like type 3. Okay, still about type 2. This is one way to handle type 2. Another way is add flag column. All is current or current. Why? No. So we got, instead of expiry date, we gonna add one column there calling alter table employee. So not both of them, just either one you got to keep. Expiry date or that current flag. You can say or is current, or you can say is active, is last. So is current, the most usual one. Or you can call it current flag. It's gonna be char 1. Or byte 1 you can make it 001. Yes. Now select star from that. So here, which one is the current?
The second one.
Second one. So wherever expiry date is not known, you need to make that current one N, no. Wherever it's not, you got to make it Y. Yes. So update employee. Guys, remember how to update it with the case?
Yeah.
Almost. That's why you guys got to do my videos. Don't forget, set whatever column is current equal to case, yes. And expiration date. Now, why? Then this equals why? Else, just that. F. Right. No. N.
You don't need it will not select it.
You see, that's why that's math. Whatever
But you don't
as
have
a homework here, I mean, you're not selecting that.
Yeah.
And is the king on this. When you select, I mean, case, don't forget about and. Most common mistakes many beginners make is missing that end. Yeah. So now, just imagine there is no expiration date. No. Oh. Okay. So this is another way to handle type 2, third type of slowly changing dimension. Okay, the name is too fancy, but behind the scene, that's what it means, guys. Don't be confused if they say slowly changing. What the hell is it? Okay, now they say there is like type 3, 4. I mean, fourth type. They may say there is type 4, type 5, type 6. That's all about. For example, they say type 3 on. That's the rule when you got there can be change, but you got to only care about most recent two. So current and the one before the current. So you're gonna keep most recent. Or type 4 may say you got to create separate table to keep all the historical values, and in a main table you will have the current values. That's it. But don't confuse yourself, don't kind of make your life hard, tough by by talking about more than 3 types. There are by default 3 types. If you go to the Visual Studio SSDT, create a project, just integration project, create one should be one package. Just to prove that there is a by default there is 3 types. I just want to show you how to kind of back up your answer. So you can yourself see it, and you can tell if they tell you, okay, there are more than 3 types. You got to tell them by default there is 3. There are 3 types. Why? Because there is spatial. If you drag and drop data flow task, in the data flow task, there's spatial transformation called slowly changing dimension. Yes. We may have to, can you try to open it? Maybe we have to have the input values. Yeah. Source, any kind of source. You can connect to that.
Table.
Yes. Employee table. We just create. Don't worry about this right now, guys. I will talk about it with more details when we learn what's called incremental load. That's That's very common interview question. They always ask about it. That's your main task as a SSI unit. Everybody put what they need, what they want. Okay. Okay, so we can just choose. Now go to the next. Now you need to choose the destination table. You can choose the same table. Yes, it's there. Now key column choose employee ID. Next. You see, there are, no, wait. Dimension columns, it say the change type. You see, there, if you click on that change type, just 3. You can make it bigger. Yeah, open that. There are 3. Fixed attributes, type 0. Changing attribute, type 1. Type 2 is historical attribute. You can see the definitions on the left. What's fixed attribute? You see, first one. Select this type when the value in the column should not change. That's your date of birth. And change the attribute, changing attribute is the type 1, which means there is going to be change, but you don't care about the historical value. You can read type 1, it says, you see. This is type 1 change. First one is type 0, even it doesn't mention that. And then type 2, historical. So there are 3 by default. You can fight with anybody and show your evidence, this one. As evidence, you can show this one. Only changing dimension transformation. By default, there are 3 types. And even if they say 4, 5, 6, you say, I agree with you. But by default, there are 3 actually. Cancel that one. Okay, today's topic actually is now, can you delete this? Alright, let's create one simple. Do we have adventure works? No. Yes. Can you connect to the 2012 server from
from the old one?
Yeah. No, I mean SSMS. No. Actually, the Visual Studio, go to the Visual Studio, right click the connection manager from the bottom. OLEDB and new one. Your 2000, yeah, one.
Warehouse or regular?
The regular. Okay. Now, you can connect to 2012 from SSMS.
Okay.
Yeah. If you open the database, Adventure World, let me see, there was what table. What tells order? Detail. Can you right click that? Tells order. Yes. Oh. ID. Okay, today's first topic is gonna be configuration, guys. And then if we will have a enough time, then we will move to the deployment. Okay, now we have product ID. Can you count star by group by product ID? Count star. Delete everything. Just keep product ID. Can type product. Group by, yes. Why? Because it's not, I mean, product ID is not. Yes, that should be good. Okay, now can you remove the product ID and say where where product ID equals to question mark. What does it mean? It means in SSIs it's parameter. Copy this code. Copy that. There. Can you please execute SQL task? Yeah. Okay, first, that's not working. Can you right click and edit it? Edit properties. 2 times harder. Try new one. And
It's pushing harder. Okay.
now it's on. Connect to that adventure world, SQL statement. No, it didn't paste everything. Now paste it.
In all the
Okay, now we got to do what? We need to pass a parameter to this first, yes? Okay, first we need to create one parameter, right click. Variables, yeah. Add one, call it product ID, integer, 0 should be 5, and then go there, parameter mapping, and direction is gonna be input, type is gonna be integer, yeah. Integer, make it bigger, not integer, you can make right double, right double, 0 parameter name is gonna, no, that's size. This one is parameter name. 0. Okay, go to the general break. General. We want to get whatever the count is. We got to give alias name there, name. Actually, go to the result set. No, right there, right there.
Okay.
First, single row is gonna be yes, because it's gonna give the count for one, only one product ID. Yes. Count of cells for one product, that's it. Okay, go to the result set now, and result set name, you can put 0, and the variable, gonna be new variable. You say amount sold amount. It's gonna be integer, yes. 0, initialize. Okay. Okay. Now can you please drag and drop script task there? Read those two variables. And this script. Okay, slowly changing dimension, it's very important, guys. I may send a video about it so you can review it again, but that's what I just talked about. Really commentary question too.
Would you want to read them?
Yeah, message box. First, can you create string message? You can say message. equal to string dot format, right? You got to say the product, the product ID, the product with ID, the product with ID.
No, you only call.
Yeah, just message product ID.
Yes.
Actually, there with after this product ID, you can put in curly brace 0 after product ID, bracket 0, and what was sold space curly brace 1 space times without the times.
It was so different.
Times. Okay, it should be fine. Now instead of plus, put comma there. I see. Should be comma, and then it is plus 2 that value. Comma. Copy this. I mean details, just details. Details to copy that. I'll change that product ID to
Amount.
yeah. Terminate. Can comment out or delete this user. Now message box dot show. Okay. Right now it's 0, yes, product ID should be 0, 0. Actually, we have to move on. Just execute it, let's see. Go to the progress, what happened, start, you can start, Oh, yeah, so we got the null handle, yes? Go to the control flow, open that execute SQL class, oh, right there. Can you go back to the SSML? If you don't want a null handle, I think if you pass this 707, go there, pass 707 instead of 0, cancel, no, cancel. Variable, remember, product ID, by default is 707. Try it again. I will also show how to null handle. So, yeah, it's working, yes? Okay? Okay, but the correct way is to null handle it. How you handle it? You can say case, you can use is not. I think you can use that outside the aggregate function. Can you try it in the, yeah, just instead of that, remove that word part. We don't need that part right now. So is null before the count start. Open, and then, no, just whatever count starts. Yeah, we counting, but when we pass product ID 0, it returns nothing.
Yeah.
So we need to say when it returns nothing, make it something 0. Execute it.
Or can you
Now it should be fine. Can you put where close here, where product ID equals to 0? Just to make sure if it's working. Execute everything. No, it's not returning anything. That means no passive needs to return something. Okay. Can you select union only?
because of the group item, there is no need to use it.
No, actually, yeah, here we don't have to
Use the group item.
yes. Remove that one. Just replace, go there, just put is null there, no, inside. Is null. Zero, and you can come down. No, it stays.
Oh, because of the variable. Okay.
Try to execute that now. You can replace that to back to 0.
That's about
The
variable.
Zero times, so it's null handle. Go to now this ready. You can put that 707 back. No, product ID 707. Yes. Now it's working. Yes. What does the configuration mean, guys? Configuration means that's gonna help it like give you power to manipulate the package outside of the package without entering into the package inside the package. That looks like something a store procedure do with the report, guys. You remember when we use inline SQL statement, we had to every time go and update. Here we got if we wanna change the value of the variable, for example. One time we wanna get the information about where product ID is 707. Next time we may wanna change it. Every time we don't want to open the variables, change it there. So it should happen during the runtime, guys. It should be it will be scheduled running in a production environment, and you are not allowed to every time go there, download it, open, edit, put the new ID into the variable, and then redeploy it, reschedule it. So sometimes you may have to create 80, 70 steps. That means 70 ETL packets. Everything is interrelated. Like one is gonna be the first one, and then second step needs to be executed. So now imagine 70 steps, and you use the variable in 10 of them, and you got to like edit all 60 or at least 50 packets there. So you don't want to do it by going there, opening, editing, redeploying, rescheduling. That's gonna be really difficult, guys, and messy. So the correct for that we have configuration. If you right click anywhere, if you don't see it here, go to the properties of the package, right click there, properties. Usually it's the second after logging when you right click. You got to find the configuration. It should be, yeah. Click on that. Now it shows up. You remember we already did parent and child configuration, guys. To manipulate child package with parent package. They will do other type. And next. So there are the configuration types. If you open this, there are one, two, three, four, five of them. You just need to remember three or two at least when if they ask you about configuration types. The most common ones, SQL Server and XML configuration file. And also you may configure to parent package, that's also common one. Or you configure to environment variables and registry, enter. We'll do only those you need to remember. That's very important one. The first one we'll do it through XML. Browse, we got to create one. SSIS configuration, you can say. You see, save as type dts config. It says save. Next. Now you need to specify what do you want to configure. We want to configure, manipulate what product ID variables. No, not it whole thing. Just remove the tick. Remove the tick. Class the value, just value on the bottom. Yeah. You see? Did you choose the value?
Yeah.
Okay. Next. It's saying its value is okay. Let's try product ID. It was shown as a string, but we specified it as integer. Okay, let's try. It should not matter. Yes, finish. Okay, close it. Now, if you go to wherever you just saved that file, minimize it, minimize desktop file. Yeah. You see, this is the config file. If you open, right click it, open it with Notepad. Enter, and you can put, or you can make bigger. You see, if you go this way to one more time. You see, here it says product ID, properties, value type 32, and the value, configured value is 707. Yes? Now, cancel this one, cancel it, don't say anything. Run it, the package. It's gonna get me the information about that 707, yes? Okay. Now if you minimize, stop this, open the, yes. Don't put enter, just go wherever that value was 707. Instead of 707, put any different product ID. Go to SSMS, select just you select star. Right before from, yes, select star. Just highlight this. 778, yes, product. 776, 777. Let's put. We change it outside of the package. We didn't change it from inside. Okay, now run it. Is giving 4777. You can stop, go to variables value right here. Yeah. You see, it's still showing 707, but it doesn't care anymore what it's saying inside SSI spec. It will only care about, yes. Now, you not just product ID. You can manipulate employee name, employee ID. You can manipulate what else? Connection string. Most of the time, that's what you need. Connection string, I mean the server and the database that you are using there. Because in most workplace, you will have three environments, guys. Three environments means In simple language, that's like same thing, but you got to do in three. You got to do the same thing in with three times actually. Three times same thing. First time you do it in development environment. Most of the some places have five environment. Some place four. Some place the most common one is three. Development and then UAT environment. They say UAT means testing environment and then production environment. So you don't do like you're playing with the production environment. You do all the playing, most of them in development, and then if you miss something, you can do in UAT. Once it's UAT approved, you will push it to production. You don't do the change directly in the production environment because you may cause some problems, you may cause some failures there, and then the end users will not be happy with it. So you do all the playings, everything, every change, every update in the development. And then you pass it to UAT, somebody else, usually, most of the time, it might be business analyst or another senior developer, may come and do the UAT or special team, testers team, they may do the testing. And if they say there's something wrong about it, they will let you know, you will fix it, and then they will do the UAT again. If it passed, then you will push it to production. Okay, so now as I said, you have three or four environments. You create really huge ETL process. You have like 50 ETL packets in one process. 50 ETL packets. You think you are done. You upload it in development environment. You check everything. Now time to change it to testing environment. So testing environment, it's just the server is gonna change, database is gonna change. So you just need to update in a connections tree. If you right click the connection property, anymore, yeah, right click the property. If you go to connections tree, you see right there. That's the connection string for this. Let's assume this is development environment. Okay, let's actually create the spatial. Let's map the process. Create two database in that 2017 or in 2012. Create two database. Call one as dev development adventure works. You can adventure works, and then one more database. Call it as create production adventure. Now, can you open that? Anyone? Now instead of that select, copy that select star from it. Except workloads. Copy that. Here call this table same thing, cells, just cells.
So create table?
No. We will select into. No need to call in. No. Where do you write into after start? See, in review. Start. What you need to dump? You are telling to dump data into what columns you need. You are telling all the columns. Into what cells? Execute it. And do the same thing, but just changing the database. You can delete it.
Same table?
Same thing, same table, just database change. That's how it looks usually, but you usually have different server, not database. So for production, you will have different server, server, by server, what I mean, when you connect, when you click connect, go there, connect, database. This is the server name. When you put dot, it's localhost. But you can put whatever the server they provide you. For example, this one, server instance. Yeah. One is prod, another one is gonna be /dev. You got it? So that's what is the environment. You don't mess with the production environment. The production data, that means you don't mess with production data. Okay, cancel. Now go to the here, right click the connection manager to the venture world. Right click. Yes, properties. I mean, log two click. Choose that database, dev one. Okay. Go to the execute SQL task. Now say open the bottom, the query. The connection is gonna be still same because we already changed it here. The table name is gonna be sales in this case. Just remove everything. No, the table name of the remove everything about table. After from close till where, remove everything. Just replace it with sales.
Remove everything.
After from till where.
After from.
After from till where. Yeah, there sales. Okay. Okay. Run it. You see, it's 243 yes here in the development environment. But in production, it might be different. You might have little less than that. So we go there and delete some for
778.
778, yes. Open to the, now select, remove that, just right set, no, keep everything there. Select start from sales, where product ID equals 778, execute this one. Okay, here just delete the one where sales order ID is for, I mean, less than, delete like 10 of them. 474. Delete from sales where
Sales order.
Product ID equals 778 and sales order ID less than 43704. Sales order ID first one. From here, that's 43704. Yes, execute the 9. Okay. So now go there.
Oh, yeah, we deleted.
No, that's fine. Okay. From the prod, we did it. So now start it. I mean again. So in the development environment, we have 243. Write it somewhere or remember it. Right? For that product, there was that many sales. Now we're gonna configure. Right click.
All right.
You see package configuration. You can delete this first configuration. Add one more. Go to desktop. Delete that SSIS configuration. Oh, yes, yeah. That's it. Save it. Next. Now go find connection string. From the connections, go to the top. There should be connections. Which connection it was? Class. There should be properties. Connection string is the connection first one. Yes, select that one. That's it. Next. So we configure the connection string to that connection. Close. Go open that. Now run it one time. 243 is gonna show yes, because that's in still development environment. Now you think it's ready to move it to its schedule, it's running. Now you think you want to move it to the production. Okay, open that one. Now change, go find the database, I mean connection string value. Right there, little, yeah. You see, dev add word, change it to prod add word. Prod add word. Okay, save, close it, save it. Now run it, the package. Yeah. It's gonna prove an error. Don't worry. It should be 9 less than. Is it 9 less than?
34, yeah.
You see? So it's gonna make your job. That's the main reason we have configurations in the SSIS. So you can easily manipulate everything inside almost everything. It can be properties, it can be variables, it can be parameters, it can be connection string, it can be anything which is inside the package. You can manipulate them outside, not opening, not disturbing the packages. Okay, now the first one we looked at was XML configuration type. Second common one is like mostly used one is SQL Server. So you can delete, you can keep. SQL Server. Yeah. Here you got to specify where you wanna do it. Let's choose the local AdventureWorks 2012. Or we can choose that first one also under AdventureWorks. So we don't have table yet created here. We're gonna create. You see, it will automatically create everything that you need. Okay. Now we're gonna put filter. Filter means, for example, this time you just wanna configure the connection string. Next time you wanna configure in SQL table the parameters values, variable values. So that's kind of to separate them, to differentiate it, to be able to see the difference. What is what? Which one is about what? So here we're gonna say this time we wanna configure what the connection string or connection, or you can say database name. Or you can call it as connect. Doesn't matter. Next. Go choose that connections open class, no, the bottom properties, connection string. Here if you just want to configure the database name, then initial catalog is the data. Can you highlight the initial catalog? The check initial catalog. You see prod adware. So you can directly go to the database. Remove that connection string part, choose the initial catalog. Next. Finish. Close. Now if you go to the AdventureWorks, you remember you configured it in AdventureWorks. Yes. Choose the AdventureWorks. I mean Object Explorer. Refresh the database, AdventureWorks, tables. There should be SSIS, whatever the name was. What was the name when you create?
Something SSIS configuration.
Okay, maybe you got to run it one time. Can you go and run it? Yeah, run it. Okay. Go to that was AdventureWorks, yeah? Refresh that. Is there something? Just select start from.
This one is 12 or 2017?
We connect to
Both.
AdventureWorks is into 12. We have both within SSMS 2017. Yes. Now try to open system table. Maybe. No. Select start from SSIS. SSIS configuration there. Can you go back there and edit that one? Let's see what was the name. You open that one. Choose the edit. Copy the table name. Don't do new. Copy. Cancel everything. Cancel. Cancel. You can build the package. I mean the project. Publish export. Right click. Build it. Not the project.
No, the whole.
You can build solution. Yeah. Close this. Go there. Place that one. Contract. Select from that one. I mean, can you go back there again? No, please, back. Can you let me? It's slowly changing dimension. Is it? Isn't it? We should. Can you open that again? The configuration manager, edit it. What are they? Yeah, that's under slowly changing dimension, not under the adventure world. Yeah, cancel that one. I thought that's the adventure world. Choose, yeah, from there you can change, or from the object explorer, it doesn't matter.
Was it even here? I think slow change was in
2017, you can, yeah, open, right click that, I mean, refresh it, open that slowly changing dimension, last, right, database, wherever the database, yeah, tables, you see, right click that one, select top 1000. Now, if you see what we have there, the database name, we said configuration filter is, and then prod adventure works, that's the value. Here, if you update this value, let's update it back to there. Update that table. There. Configure value equal to single quote. There, that works. That's just one. Okay, now select start from that one again. So we change it back to there again. So if we execute, it should be 243 again. Yeah. So 234 for prod, 9 less in prod, 9 more in the day. Yes, is it correct? Yes. So now it's pulling from the developer. You can change it back to the prod again. I mean, it's gonna be pulling. So this is why we need it, and this is the second way to do the same thing. And most of the you may wanna do it in SQL Server table, the configuration. So if they ask you, do you do the configuration? Why we need them? The answer should be like, okay, well, say, for example, I can give you one sample, but we can use the configuration in many places in similar way. Okay, that way is like most common one. For example, we think that the package is ready in the development environment, and we want to push it to UAT or other environment, production environment. In that case, we don't have to go like down, import the package, and then open, edit the value, and then redeploy, reschedule. So in order to skip those parts and be able to manipulate it outside of the SSIS package, we need that configuration. And the one that you like to do is the type. The most favorite type, your most favorite type should be SQL Server. SQL configuration type. Okay, we'll do one more there, configuration. You can remove that one. I'll add. We will do environmental variables. Okay, now you see it's showing whatever we have there. We need to create the variable first. We're gonna create one for product ID. how we create environmental variables when we install the Oracle? You guys remember? Go right. I mean, go to this PC, right click, advanced settings, properties, advanced settings, and then there is environmental variables on the bottom. Now, new, say product ID, and the value is gonna be this time 777.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. Okay. Go to the Visual Studio, cancel this one. You need to close and reopen. Save first. Save it. Close the solution. Open it back again. So it can be visible for you guys to be used, the variable. Okay, now if you right click, if you don't see it there, how do you find it? Property, configuration, add, environmental variable. Open that one, and you should see. Have it. Next. We need to map it to what? Variables, product ID value. Yes. Yes. It's 778 right now. But we said 777. We want to manipulate it with the environmental variable. Okay, so run should do 777. Correct? Yes. So this is another way, but this is not the common way, guys, because you don't even you will not even have an access to this environment. They don't give you admin access most of the time because you may. Yeah.
I will.
So that there is another one which is registry entry. If you go there, that one also you will never do it through that way. How you do it? I mean, I can just show from where to do it, and we don't do it till the end. Just I will show you. You just go to the search, right? I mean, reg edit,
Good luck to test. The back is over.
Select into. You don't see it. What's happened?
If you don't want to,
Okay, so wherever the H key users, yeah, right click that H key users, new key. Writing to the register. You see, I mean, maybe we have to open as admin. So don't worry about this one. I don't want to confuse you guys because you never use it. You just keep in mind that there is one type which you can put through register in.
So main or this
Main or SQL Server and XML configuration file.
Okay.
SQL Server, you can say like it's your favorite. You will have better control. Yeah, you feel really comfortable with SQL Server.
Are they same on the performance?
Yeah, I mean they're almost same, and I mean you may not. For example, if it's XML, then it should be saved somewhere. Yes, it should be under one physical folder. What if the folder they change? What if that the server is gonna like change stuff like that? Then it will be difficult for you to update everything correctly. So the easiest one is if you keep it in SQL Server. Every time you connect to that server, it will be right there with that table name, whatever table name you keep. Okay, that was about configuration. Do you guys want to continue with the deployment? Okay, let's just start the introduction with the deployment and then we can
Yes, very good. The interview they ask a lot about.
Okay, we can deploy SSR once you feel the package is ready. Yes, your package is ready. Time to schedule it. Schedule in order to be able to schedule it. You do scheduling with SQL agent. You remember that? So with SQL agent, you go to the SSMS Object Explorer on the bottom. SQL agent. You see this here. So you do that with you start with this. We will do scheduling separate class, guys. Right now the topic is deployment. When we finished the SSR's report, we were supposed to deploy it to the server, yes, reporting server. So we can manipulate, watch it, view it, like deliver it to the end users through reporting manager. Yes. Here, in order to schedule the SSIS package, the exercise is kind of 90% is about automating the work. So that means when you create exercise package, like not, out of 199% of the case, you will not execute it manually. It should be scheduled. Even if it's one time, even if it's once in every year needs to run, still it needs to be scheduled. So so you can be able to schedule, you need to deploy it to somewhere that the SQL agent can see that. So it can see from, if you go to the Object Explorer, no, go back to right click the jobs, new job, give any exercise one, go to steps, new, step one, you can call it. Instead of type T-SQL, choose SSI tag, put it that integration tag, Here, if you see this package source, open that. You see how many there are? These are the place that SQL agent can see your package. These are the place where you need to deploy your package to. So we can deploy it to SQL Server. That means it will be deployed to the database, system database called MSDB. You guys remember MSDB? There are four types: model, master, MDB, and MSDB. So it will be deployed to MSDB in the first. Second one